So, next category.
Get to show up.
I want to do the next category because the next category is best board game of 2015. I will start with. Let's start with Gerald. You went last. So what's your best board game of 2015?
My favorite board game. Now I know we kind of skewed the rules on this one a little bit too. Maybe it's like best board game we played this year. Maybe it didn't come out.
Right? How do you know when things came out?
Well, I don't know. My favorite board game was Codenames. Did Codenames come out this year?
It did come out this year.
That was my favorite board game this year. We took it around to different places over the holiday, and wherever we took it, everyone loved it. We played for a couple hours at my mom-in-law's place. Almost got through all the different cards.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they played for like
played for a long time. But it's a great game. Everybody loves it. It's a hoot. It destroys relationships. It's a great game.
I know.
We played it.
We played it on New Year's over at my brother-in-law's house, and it's just so much fun. And like my wife's family's not into games.
Yeah,
and
like they like some games. They play like poker, and they'll play like that sequence game I got and stuff. They got to find certain games because they don't want to strategize. They just want to play a game.
That's the thing. This game is for everybody.
This game, they loved it, and I'm probably going to get it just so we can play it later. But yeah, it's really, really fantastic game.
Yeah, and we talked about it on a podcast. We did a standard review, which we'll do some today. Stick around at the end of the podcast, but. Gave it a stunning review. It's a great game. It's one of those games that is dead simple, but has once you crack that nut of like, oh, that's how this game. It's password. I mean, basically boiled down, it's password. But it has such a, like you were talking about, the relationship you have with those people is the best part. It kind of unlocks that fun background of you, whoever you're playing with.
Yeah.
And it encourages creativity. It encourages frustration. It's one of those. Fun games. I think we always talk about it's like Inception. You're trying to like stick what you were thinking into the other person's head.
Yeah, I said something. I said like evolution, and there was like fish was an option, and he went straight to school, and I was like, what?
Well, I thought school they don't teach evolution in school. I
know.
I thought it made sense.
I know, but fish was an option. Fish should be first.
Fish are friends.
I did have some just quick honorable mentions about favorite experiences playing. It was Battlestar Galactica. Because Jordan, you're a jerk. And Game of Thrones, when we played Game of Thrones board game. Oh my god, it was so much fun. Being king for like 80% of the game.
Yeah, that was not fun for me because I got the wrath of the king. Yeah. Those games didn't come out this year, but both Oh, really? I think I was going to say the awakening of board games this year was this year. I mean, I played more board games in this year than I've ever played in my entire life, and it has obviously become a problem.
This is all acquired this year.
Yeah, probably about 90% of it.
Wow.
What was your favorite this year?
Okay, so I have a kind of a two different games going here. So my favorite game that was released, well, let me jump back. The game that we played this year that was technically released in December of last year is not only my favorite game of 2015, it's my favorite game of all time, and that's Imperial Assault. Star Wars.
When are we going to play again?
Now, we've talked about this again on the podcast earlier, but it's a Star Wars game. It is a what you would call like a dungeon crawling game. I think of like Diablo. And I hate Diablo, but I love this game. But
I love Diablo.
It's so good.
So what the game is basically you have a team of, usually you can play between, I think it could be one person or up to four. In our group, we played with 4 people as the Rebel Scum. I say that
Imperial jerks.
Because I was the Imperial player. So what's cool is that they all work the 4 other players work to try to solve the mission, and I'm working to try to, just to either destroy them or make them not meet their accomplishment or goal.
It's really a painted version of Dungeons and Dragons. So you're the dungeon master,
right?
But there's a board in there.
But there's a board, and he's like Descent.
Right. And that's why I think I like this game is that it strikes a really good balance between the theming and the feel of role playing, like a Dungeons
and video game.
Yeah, of Dungeons and Dragons, but it also is grounded in dice rolling, and it's not all up to your imagination. You can obviously put that into the game to make it more fun, I think, but you don't have to. You can come at it straight from a dice rolling mechanics. Right. I don't want to think, like in Dungeons and Dragons, one of the big things that a lot of people is having to create your character, which sometimes takes a whole night. I mean, that might be one whole night of Dungeons and Dragons. And this, you're given a character, you move forward. Right. So it's a streamlined.
No, it's definitely an easier version of that. It's like, they assist you.
Right, and it's dripping in Star Wars theme. I mean, it is
not canon though.
Not canon, but it is awesome. People. But it's cool because like when you don't play as like the main characters from the trilogy, but those characters do show up to either aid the rebellion, or Darth Vader will show up to help the Imperial. And like when Darth Vader shows up, it's like get out of the way. Like they fit Darth Vader is very powerful in that game.
Is he?
Well, I lost with him, but whatever. But it's a good game. It also is one of those games that it's well balanced because even towards the end, it's close. It's not like, it doesn't have rubber banding.
There have been a couple times, man, where we were barely won.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. And what's cool is it's a campaign like you talked about in a video game. So the game you play now, affects the games thereafter, and you get bonuses if you win.
Different missions based on how you did, and there's experience that you get at the end. There's money you get at the end you can spend towards stuff.
You can go shopping to buy better guns and better armor and better weapons. And like I like the characters that you guys picked. You guys picked the characters that match what you would normally play. Like Jordan picked the sneaky guy that
ranged. I always play ranged.
Yeah, and then
makes sense.
I picked the Wookiee that just goes in there. I'll charge in first, guys. I'll take all the hits. I'm the tank.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's a lot of fun. So that would be my best game of 2015 that I played this year, which technically was released last year. My best game of this year that was released this year is a game I haven't even finished, and Gerald is going to get mad because
that's my best game.
Seriously, God, you guys are jerks.
Okay, so it's a game called Time Stories. I'll let Jordan talk about it because we tried to play with Gerald, and Gerald unfortunately got pulled into work late, and we just played it without him.
Well, there was debate, Gerald. I'm persuasive. I'm sorry. I really wanted to play, and I don't get a lot of
pressure got the best of me that day.
And then I'm like, I'm not going to get a time to play.
Okay,
later.
Don't spoil the game because it's a very thematic, story-driven narrative game. So don't spoil into that, but tell us what the game's about.
I'm going to talk about. Yeah, I mean, the game is basically a point-and-click adventure game that's got a board. You got cards, you unveil them, and it's literally a panoramic picture of the room that you would see if you were playing a video game in a point-and-click adventure. There's people you can talk to. There's things you can investigate.
You're right.
And it is really fun because it's a multiplayer point-and-click adventure game. Like, I love point-and-click adventures, but the worst part about it is I like to play with other people and have fun in a multiplayer thing. But this is like exactly the same concept, but there is like a time limit too. Like on the point-and-click adventures, like I'll roam around for hours. This game, you can't be roaming. There's no roaming around. Like you got to get to it. There's a time limit on it.
And part of the game is it's you work for the tachyon insertion into major events time, T.I.M.E. Cute little acronym for time stories. But the game, the mechanic of the game is you work for this agency that's trying to figure out time faults, and you're going into the past, the past, the future, and other dimensions, parallel dimensions, or whatever they call it.
That's genius.
Right, because you can just make anything up.
Yeah, because in this game, there's only one adventure in the game. And it's one time, and it's just like, it's an old school, like, medical asylum. Yeah. And that's it. Like, I was like, oh, we're going to do this one, and then there'll be another. No. The whole thing is just at this location.
The whole game, right?
The whole game.
But they're coming out with expansions.
And there's expansions, but you could, since it's time, like, you could do it opens up, like, you could have endless expansions.
Right. You could go anywhere and do anything.
Yeah.
But it is one of the few games, it does a couple things that, I liked in some of the games I played, maybe not this year, but it feels old school, meaning we took out a sheet of paper and we're writing things down.
That's cool, though. I like that.
Yeah, board games, I mean, usually everything's provided to you. This game, and it is definitely some critical thinking, like in a point-and-click adventure game, everything matters. What's on the wall? What are they doing over there? What is it? Like every little detail. So you've always got to have your eyes open, right? But it's an incredible game. It's
and it's a whodunit kind of thing.
Yeah,
like it's just got a lot of different features involved.
Yeah. It's a cool game. Now we didn't
Sounds fun, guys.
Sorry, Joe.
We didn't play with you, but what's good is in this game, I think
cut me in, hopefully.
Well, we can maybe put you in this. What's cool about the game actually is you can save because with you with the twins, your time is a little bit more valuable than everybody else's, which makes sense. You got to raise kids, but what's cool is the game allows you to kind of pause and save, which a lot of board games don't let you do.
I'm trying to keep them from stealing from you in the future, if that helps.
Nice. There you go.
So I think we're 1.5 rounds in. So.
And what's cool is, like I said, it's got a time function, so there's a mechanic of going back in time and coming back and going back and forth between the present and the past. It has a mechanic to it too. I don't want to ruin anything because the game is so good.
Yeah,
it is
and
unlike
I look at the reviews online and they talk about it being bad because you can only play it once. Totally worth it to just play it once. Like,
right.
You can't play it again because you know what to do.
Think of it like a video game. Like the story campaign, you play it once, you get everything out of it.
Yeah, but they're like, oh, it only takes like 6 hours. Or
but it's like, I think it's $30 to $40, but like if you play with 4 people, divide that by 4, and like how much does a movie cost? And that takes 2 hours. I mean, at the end of the day, the whole time value investment
totally
thing is such a bad proposition.
If you see those reviews, ignore them. Just listen to everybody who thinks it's awesome. Because
listen to us. Or them, anyway. I didn't play it, remember?
We'll play the expansion with you for sure. All right, Gerald. Oh, you already went over yours, right?
Yeah.
And then, okay, so we're giving more things
more
away.
Prizes.
Yes! All right, more prizes. Here we go. All right, the next prize we're giving away is the Blue Orange Games Bundle. This includes a copy of Wink, King's Gold, and Prohees. You can check out all their great stuff at blueorangegames.com. And the winner of that is...
Native_Inkling_.
Nice. Good job, Native Inkling.
Native Inkling. That's creative.
All right. I like that you're like more interested in the name that they have. Okay. Okay. Now we're
a lot about it first.
From Overworld Games. They give us a copy of Good Cop, Bad Cop. Why are you trying to be a cop, eh? You can check out all their good stuff at overworldgames.com.
Do they tell you how to do a Boston accent?
And they should. All right. Who's the winner of this?
I think you guys are a Mizzle Dizzle.
Mizzle Dizzle.
That's a good name.
Mizzle Dizzle.
A Mizzle Dizzle won Good Cop, Bad Cop. Good job. All right. And then we'll do one more. Let me flip this over. The next one is the Atlas game bundle. This includes a copy of Gloom, Once Upon a Time, and 3 Cheers for Master, and then you get your choice of an expansion.
That's crazy.
It's a really...
Everybody was so generous. Thank you so much.
Yeah, atlas-games.com. Check out all their good stuff there. The winner of that is KM Burrows 8. Good job, KM Burrows 8. You don't have as cool as a name as the Mizzle Dizzle, but...
Yeah, you need to work on that.
You can work on your name. All right. The next category, we've done video game, we've done board game, we've done TV show, we've done comic. So the next one is movies.
Movie.
Best movie of 2015. Who wants to go first?